You're listening to a podcast from the Finnish Football Show.
Yes, it's the Finnish Football Show. I'm Mark Wiltshire. Thanks for joining me. And I'm joined today by somebody I haven't seen on my computer screen for a few months, Mr. Keke Mullari. Hi, Keke.
Terve. Well, yeah, I had 2.5 weeks myself in the fatherland over in Jyväskylä there for summer. So, it's good to be back. Nice to see you, mate.
Yeah, I think we had a bit of we had some international action obviously in June and July, and I think we previewed some of it, and then work and holidays just kind of got in the way of us managing to get together again. So the last show was at early July, which was me and Rasmus rattling through the Veikkausliiga, and now we've managed to get it together. So and obviously, Keke, you don't follow the Veikkausliiga at the moment because YIK are not there. So
whoa.
I don't
at the moment. At the moment.
That's right. Yeah, they're not there at the moment. Yeah. So it kind of makes sense that we get together for the international stuff, which is where you're really involved, and do the Veikkausliiga with Rasmus and some others when they're around as well. So it's good to have you back, mate. Nice to see you again.
Thanks. Good to see you.
Did you catch a YIK games when you were over?
Do you know what? This is the first summer in about 20 odd years that I didn't watch any football the whole time I was in Finland.
Really?
Really, really. Yeah. So weird. Like,
wow.
There would have been a game just a few days before we were leaving Finland, but we trundled off down to Lahti to stay with some friends there, and then had a couple of days in Helsinki after that. So the YIK home game was over those few days when we had left town already. But yeah, it was a bit of a weird one. But I did manage to play some disco footis at Narmat Festival. So that was fun.
What is disco footis?
Come on, Mark, it's obvious. You just got a disco dance while playing football.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
You didn't take part in the
fun.
air guitar world championships or anything like that? No.
No, there was also a talking to your dog championship, which was quite funny. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, it was the last ever Narmat Festival, so it was It was good to make an appearance there.
And you talk about trundling down to Helsinki, but just a little shout out for Mr. Ali Manson, our very own. He's currently performing in a play that he has written, produced and directed down there in Helsinki. So when you listen to this, there will still be, it's running until I think Sunday the 8th or 9th. And a group of us went down last weekend. A group of us, meaning us from the Finnish Football Show, me and Lady Satu, went down there with Sami from the KTP fan, Seppo the Lahti fan, Farid the AIF fan, and
Jussi was there as
and
well,
Jussi, of course, yeah, Jussi, who's the big boss at the Finnish supporters. I don't know what it is, supporters association. Yeah, I suppose so. Doing lots of work with other fan groups around Europe, and who is, by his own definition, kind of a HJK fan, but also follows many teams down there. He's basically just a football fan. But yeah, listener, I will put a link to Ali's show, or you can find our Instagram page. There was a little post from there the other day. It's well worth checking out. Theatre in English in Helsinki is there's not that many options. So if you're listening to this nonsense, then that might just be up your street if you're in that area. All right, Keke, we're gonna mostly focus on the international football in this episode, but I just thought it might be worth giving the listener a little update on the Veikkausliiga, because we just last weekend reached that stage where everyone's played each other twice. So 22 games have been played. And as has happened for the last, 5 or 6 years, the league is splitting. And the top 6 teams and the bottom 6 teams then play against each other. And they changed the format again a little bit this year. And I think it's for the better. So the top 6 teams will play each other twice, home and away. And in previous seasons, they played each other once, and then there's been this sort of long, convoluted playoffs to see who gets the final European game. Now it's going to be just home and away, top 6 play each other, and the final positions in the table will decide who goes into which European competition. And of course, Suomen Cup winner will also be in the mix as well. And I think it's good. Like we've got to this stage, and you realise, there's still 10 games to go. There's still 5 more home games. And, all of those top teams will be taking points off each other. No one's going to win all 10 games, because there's 5 very good teams up there. Gunistan they're considerably behind Asikor between 5th and 6th, but they've been a thorn in the side of most teams this year. So they're not going to win the league, but they might stop others from winning the league. So it's not that's not easy either. The bottom half of the table is more like it was previously. So the bottom 5 teams will just play each other once. I guess once you're down there, you don't want a long slog to the end of the season. And there's a few teams. It's still competitive at the bottom. No one's cut adrift. Kortepe, Haka, Oulu, even Mariehamn. Like there's 4 teams. If one of them can put a couple of wins together, it will make all the difference. So it's quite exciting stuff coming along. We're going to have an episode. All the fans that got together at the start of the season to give their predictions for their team, I've asked them again to record me a voice note, just sort of summarising their season so far. So hopefully, we will have that out before the Veikkausliiga restarts. Hopefully those guys are listening. Hopefully they'll get their voice notes to me before the end of this week, and then I can start stitching it all together. I've got 2 so far, 2 out of 12. That's not bad, but it could be better.
No, good start.
And one thing I wanted to mention, because there's been a bit of complaining. We've got a WhatsApp group around organising the podcast, and there's been a bit of complaining about the marketing of the Veikkausliiga, and I'm one of those doing the complaining, because it's not just the league so much as the clubs themselves. Like it's not there. After the game on Sunday, Astikor won, Kups won. Me and Jules were in the bar, and Joni, Kups fan Joni, was in the bar with us, and another friend Billy, and Chairman Raimo Sarjärvi came along. And normally he just sort of has a little greeting and off on his way, but he actually stopped and had a good chat with us. And I sort of said, well, we've got 5 home games left now. What about like a end of season ticket for those 5 games? And he said, we will be doing it, which is good. He said, it's a positive thing. We had a huge crowd the other day, pushed 5,500-6,000 by looks of it. And if you can get some of those coming back, they announced it today. 5 tickets for €60, €12 a game. Really good, really good. So, I'm first to bitch and moan about my club, like all of us are, but kudos. So hopefully, other clubs will do it and give the fans something to get involved in at the end of the season. All right, but yeah, watch the feed, watch the YouTube channel, and that episode will be along within the next week or so.
Nice.
And what will also be along in the next week or so, Keke, is us looking back at the games we're about to review now.
Yes.
So talk us through this. We got upcoming games for the Huuhkajat and the Pikkuhuuhkajat, the under-21s.
Yeah.
But of course, the big boys are the main focus. So give us an intro and let's go through it.
Yeah, man. So we've got a friendly and a World Cup qualifier coming up. So friendly game against fellow Nordic side. We're gonna be playing Norway. And then the World Cup qualifier is away in Poland. So lucky enough to be on my travels again. I'm off to Poland to first time, never been to Poland before, so I'll be over there supporting the Huuhkajat. But yeah, before that we've got the friendly against Norway. So which is on Thursday actually. This 2 days time as we're recording. And that's a 7 p.m. kickoff, is it, in Finland? 7 p.m. finish time.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Away to Norway, the Ulevar Stadium in Oslo. Yeah, it's exciting times. We'll see what happens there. And then I'm off to Poland, and the World Cup qualifier is on Sunday the 7th of September, and that is a 21:45 kickoff finish time, I believe. And we're playing in, gosh, I'm sure it isn't pronounced Chorzów, but it's one of the newer stadiums that was built for the Euro that Poland and Ukraine hosted back crikey all those years ago. But yeah, look, I've had a little look. Looks like a really decent stadium. Looks like a nice place. We got a bit of travelling to do. So yeah, looking forward to it. But yeah, two testing games, I would have said, mate. It's never going to be easy, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Let's just first remind ourselves where Finland currently are, because we've had 4 World Cup qualifiers so far. Well, but actually,
we're top of the league.
I'd say it's better than we were perhaps expecting, eh?
Yeah, mate. I mean, to be honest with you, our last World Cup qualifier, the home victory, the 2-1 home victory over Poland, was an absolute cracking result, and stuck us top of the league of our World Cup qualifying group. Admittedly, we have played 4 games, but 7 points from 4 games.
Yeah, let's remind. So we're sitting at the top of the table, 4 games from 7 points. Netherlands are second with 6 points from 2 games, so they do have something of a potential advantage. To say nothing about their actual squad of players as well. Poland are third with 6 points from 3 games. Lithuania fourth, 2 points from 3, and Malta bottom with 1 point from 4. So I'd rather have 7 points from 4 than 1. I think take the points whenever you can get them, eh? I suppose from those previous games, the draw away to Lithuania was the really disappointing one, and losing 2-0 at home to Netherlands is perhaps par for the course.
Yeah, listen, I think you're right. We kicked off back in Malta in March, and I was over there in Malta with the boys, and we had a really good trip. We managed to grind out that 1-0 win against 10-man Malta. That was the game that kicked off the Jakob Pris regime, and the new hope was sort of was quickly extinguished, and we all thought, oh no, more of the same. But yeah, I mean, it was obviously a learning curve for everyone, a learning curve for the squad and for Jakob Friis himself. He said so much after the game, and then he didn't really. It was only a few days later, in March, when we went away to Lithuania. Memory serves, we went into a lead, but the game ended up 2-2, and that is, I mean, you got to be, you got to be beating Lithuania home or away, really. I would have said, but yeah, we were a bit down in the dumps at that point, and then home game to Netherlands, which we looked competitive in, if I'm being fair, but they came away with a 2-0 victory, and it was again, we were sort of slipping deeper into the doldrums and thinking, we wouldn't need to be buying cowboy hats and the World Cup dream was over. But yeah, the game against Poland, wow, it was a little bit nervy towards the end. But yeah, we managed to win 2-1, and as I say, that sticks us top of the group. And we've got to go to Poland away this week. Obviously, we're going to chat a bit more, but we've got that friendly against Norway. But let's see, we've beat them at home. You got to beat these teams if you want to progress. So yeah, the time is right.
Why don't we have a look through the squad? And this was published 4 or 5 days ago, I suppose. And there's been a few changes since. So maybe first of all, talk us through those changes, and then let's talk about some of the players that are in or out of the squad that are noticeable.
Yeah, I mean, for the eagle-eyed of you may see, for those watching on YouTube, I've got the old orange goalkeeper Finland shirt, and
you don't need to be that eagle-eyed to notice it. It's quite bright.
It is quite orange, yeah. But yeah, that's because I've stuck that on. It's got my number 1 on my chest there, and that's sort of in a bit of a tribute to our number 1, Lukas Radecki, who's unfortunately had to pull out of the squad with injury. He was made a decent start at his new club, AS Monaco, in Ligue 1 in France.
What a move that is, by the way.
Yeah, listen.
Hey,
win it all at Leverkusen unbeaten, and then not bugger off, but get a nice little move to Monaco.
Yeah,
it's not Monte Carlo, not bad at all.
No, not at all.
Good luck to look at, but he, unfortunately, I think it was Sunday, wasn't it? They played on Sunday, and he was subbed off injured. I haven't been able to reveal or get into exactly what the injury was, and I didn't manage to see any footage, but yeah, he's pulled up injured and obviously had to withdraw from the squad. That left us with a choice of William Sinisalo, who has played a few games in the Celtic first team, but as the new Scottish season has started, he's been back on the bench as a substitute, substitute for Schmeichel, who's made Kasper Schmeichel, who's made the number 1 spot his own again at Celtic, and the other keeper in the squad was Lucas Bergström, who's just moved from Chelsea to Real Mallorca. So I mean, two young keepers. I mean, Sinisalo might have been thinking, okay, this is my chance, and I don't think it would have been such a terrible catastrophe for Vil to be between the posts, but Jakob Friis felt the need to bring in another keeper, and he's got straight on the phone to Jesse Joronen, who has just made the switch from Venezia down to Sicily to join Joel Poyampalo again at Palermo. And I mean, they had previously spoken, and it was decided that yes, they would miss this squad and concentrate on finding his feet in Palermo and getting some game time behind him. I mean, he actually played the first game of the season at the weekend, and it was a 0-0 draw, came out man of the match. And so Jakob Friis has got on the blower, and Jesse has jumped on the plane, answered the call, and joined the squad over in Norway. So maybe we'll see Jesse Joronen in goal for one or both, or
you suspect the Norway game might be the one to give Sinisalo and or Bergström a go. Maybe Sinisalo for an hour and Bergström for half an hour or something, and then put Joronen in for the competitive game.
Exactly that. That would be my thoughts. Exactly, mate. I mean, Jesse Joronen is a more than able keeper. He's shown that over many seasons. You know, we all know and love Luke. He's closest thing to world class that we've got. You know, I mean, he's absolutely fantastic. Good for team spirit. Good trustworthy between the posts. But Jesse is an able deputy, mate, and I've got no qualms with if we see Joronen in between the sticks for the Poland game.
Is there anyone else that's had to drop out since it was announced?
Yes. Rasmus Schuller has withdrawn from the squad. Yeah, he's had he's had a little bit of a niggle, and he's discussed it with Jakob Friis. They had a discussion between those two guys, and also I think probably the medical people at Djurgården in Sweden, and they decided. I mean, we're quite there's quite a lot of midfielders in the squad. You know, some younger guys have come in. So yeah, and some more familiar names. So I mean, I personally love Rasmus Schuller, and I think he's a big miss from any team or squad when he's not available. But you know, Jakob Friis seems to think that there's again able deputies, so it's been decided not to risk further injury and leave him in Sweden to recuperate. But yeah, I mean, I actually got a message from Radar. I messaged him to say, like, you know, sorry that you've had to pull out, and he said, don't worry, the boys have got this. So he's feeling confident either way.
Nice.
Yeah. So I mean, as I say, but they haven't. They decided not to directly fill that spot. I mean, Jakob Friis and the rest of the staff feel that the players they've already called into the squad can cope with the omission of Rade.
Yeah, and the goalkeeper position is very different in that respect, isn't it? And especially when the two understudies were young and relatively inexperienced, then bringing Joronen in makes sense. But you know, what's the point of dropping someone else back into the midfield in place of Schuller if you've got those other players there? That's the point of the squad there, isn't it?
Yeah, so I'll just give you a quick run through for the rest of the squad. I mean, we've got obviously we usually do a bit of a Finns abroad section on the show, but if you want, I'll just mention the movers and shakers, because the squad is full of people who are either playing well or have made moves in this recent transfer window. So
yeah, however you want to do it, mate. We normally run through the team anyway, so you could do it then.
Yeah, I'll give you a quick run through. So our friend Robert Ivanov, he's in the squad. He's now with Asteras Tripolis in Greece after a couple of seasons in Germany. He was with Eintracht Braunschweig. Contract ended there, and he's signed over in Greece, which has put out. There's a couple of others actually, which I'll tell you about, which has made the expat Finn community in Greece has tripled in the last week or
nice.
I think. So so it's listen, it's sunny. What more do you want?
No, quite right.
So yeah, Robber, you know, I love Robber. You know, ball playing defender. He wears his heart on his sleeve. So yeah, good to see him in the squad. Then we've got Ville Tikkanen of HJK, who you'll be familiar with from watching Veikkausliiga. Miro Tenho of Djurgården. Ville Koski of NK Istra. Jere Uranen, who has also pitched up in Greece. He's signed for Atromitos Athens, ended his time in AIK. He was only in AIK in Sweden for a short while. Didn't really work out. Not sure why. The club said, you know, thanks for all your efforts and all that. But for whatever reason, it didn't quite gel. So Jere has made the way across to Greece as well. Then we've got Robert Ivanov's new teammate, Nikolai Alho of Asteras Tripolis, who's been in Greece for a few seasons now, but played for a couple of clubs over there. But you know, might be a little bit of extra chemistry now that Robert and Nikolai are playing in the same club side. We've got Adam Stahl, who comes in from Djurgården's back in the squad. I'm sure we discussed it a little while ago. Missed out a couple of squads ago for personal reasons, birth of his child, I think it was. But yeah, he comes back in, and it's been actually playing really, really well for Djurgården's recently, providing assists and chipping in with a goal or two. He'd been playing. Obviously, he's normally deployed as a fullback, wing back maybe, but yeah, he's been playing a little bit further up the pitch a couple of times for Djurgården's this season. So yeah, that's an interesting one. We've got Matti Peltola of DC United in MLS, Glenn Kamara, who is listed as still at Stade Rennes, but he was on loan in Saudi. There was a bit of noise about Glenn around this transfer window. couple of clubs were sniffing round, but I haven't heard. I'm pretty sure that no deal was actually done. Again, I'm not sure of Glenn's contract situation. I'd need to check that, but yeah, he's listed here as still under contract with Stade Rennes. Then some big news. We've got Adam Marhiev has come into the squad. Young player who's impressed with the under 21s. So that's an exciting one. Santeri Vannanen, who's at Rosenborg. I'm pretty sure I think he might have scored this weekend or in their most recent fixture. Oni Valakari, who's at San Diego in MLS and has been doing, he's on loan actually, but he's been doing on loan in America at San Diego, but has been doing great things since he joined that club. Nice to see him back in the squad again. Fredrik Jensen, who's another one who's in Greece at Aris Thessaloniki. Most recently of FC Augsburg, played there for a good few years in the Bundesliga. Was quite solid in that outfit, but has now made the move over to Greece for some sun, sea, and sand. Kaan Kairinen of Sparta Prague. Again, there was a little bit of noise around Kaan in this transfer window just before the window closed. A couple of clubs were said to be looking at him, but he's been. I love Kaan Kairinen. He always delivers for Sparta Prague. He's always on that assist. He scores free kicks. He's always providing assists from corners. Plays so well for his club side. If I'm completely honest, I'd like to see that translated a little more into the performances for the national team. But always gives 100%, so you can't say fairer than that. We've got Anssi Suhonen, who has joined Östers in Sweden in the Allsvenskan from where was he? Hamburg, SV Hamburger, I believe. So he's gone over to Sweden. Oliver Antman, who's made the move from Go Ahead Eagles to Rangers in Scotland. Antman signed for Rangers. The very next day he made his debut in Champions League qualifier and provided an assist for a goal, and all was rosy in the garden. But it didn't last too long because, I've got a very big soft spot for Glasgow Rangers. But oh my gosh, what a basket case of a club at the moment! It's absolutely bonkers there. But the next Champions League game, poor old Antman only lasted 10 minutes because one of his teammates got themselves foolishly sent off, and he was hooked to make way for a defender that was needed. And it's I think once they settle down and they get their act together for Oliver Antman, everyone knows his qualities. He's still got a smile on his face, like photos that come out from Huuhkajat training today. He's got a big beaming smile on his face. Whether that's he's away from Glasgow for 5 minutes or not, I don't know.
Those that don't know what's going on at Rangers, they changed the manager this year, and Russell Martin's under a lot of pressure at the moment. He's expected to get results. He's been there
5 minutes.
And the fans are turning on him, which is really, really tough. So not an easy place for Oliver to sort of step into.
Listen, no, it's not. But Oliver Antman's another one who we're lucky to have a bit of communication with, and I said to him at the time, like, sometimes that Rangers shirt can be very, very heavy, but
you say you have a bit of communication. You asked him if he was moving to Belgium. He didn't tip you the wink that he was moving to Scotland, did he?
Well, I wasn't sure he knew much about it at that point.
Maybe not.
There you go. But no, listen, I'm sure he'll be absolutely fine when things settle down at Rangers. He signed a pretty long-term deal, and I'm sure he'll be successful for them.
Yeah, I agree.
And he's every time he's played for the national team, he's absolutely delivered. So I think he's got something like 7 goals out of 20 odd appearances. So he's definitely one of our key men. Another one based in Scotland, Topi Keskinen, comes back into the men's side after a summer at the under 21 Euros. So Toppy again, one of the main men at Aberdeen, doing decent stuff there. So it's nice to see him in the squad. Oiva Jukala from Ilves, who are sitting somewhere around second or third in the Veikkausliiga.
Yeah, I think they're in second place at the moment.
Yeah, we are. So another one that you'll be familiar with playing domestically. We've got Joel Poyampala, who has made the transition from Venezia down to Palermo absolutely seamlessly. We spoke last season where almost fired them to Serie A through the playoffs, all on his own. They've changed manager. They've got who is it down there now? Inzaghi's down there. Inzaghi. He's down there in Sicily. Joel Poyampalo has started off. He's scoring goals and doing the business. They've had a couple of cup games. I think it was Coppa Italia, and they've kicked off the Serie B season now. So same old story from Jole. One of our absolute main guys. Another one who's made a move and has hit the ground running, Benjamin Chelman, who's Hannover 96 now in Bundesliga 2. Honestly, he was at Cracovia in Poland, and used to get goals here and there and do his bit for the team. But he's literally hit the ground running in Germany, and doing great things so far from his short time in Hanover. Of course, Teemu Pukki of HJK. Talisman, I guess. Not quite sure if he's got 90 minutes in his legs, but we'll or 180 minutes for 2 games. But I'm sure we'll see Teme at some point over the 2 games. And then last but by no means least, with 2 goals in his last 2 games for his club, it's Robin Lod of Minnesota United, who he had before that he hadn't had a MLS goal since the summer, June. I think it was early summer, but 2 in 2 in the last 2 games for Robin Lod. So if it's now's the time to start scoring just before you call up for your international.
Yeah, I'm looking at the squad, Keke, and I'm thinking now that I'm seeing players that were in the under-21 Euros this summer and who did well at the under-21. Obviously, Lucas Bergstrom, he's kind of been up and down a bit between the 2 squads, but I got to see him in action in the summer. Villakoski, I think. Adam Mahiev, who for me was my kind of player of the tournament because I really noticed him. Among these players that you're not so familiar with, he really stood out. Also, I think Santeri Vannanen was named as the Huuhkajat player of that competition, and maybe Oiva Jukala, who you mentioned at Ilves. I think they're players that have made the step up, and I think that's good to see that evolution, isn't it, of those players sort of coming through.
Totally. I mean, we spoke before. A couple of these players had stepped up into the men's squad before, and then we spoke at length how as they got the under-21s to that Euro, it would be nice that they were able to represent their country at that Euro, and that's what they did. There was a squad where you saw all of these, well, most of these younger players drop back down. So, and it kind of made sense. But this is certainly the evolution of the Huuhkajat. We're seeing it before our eyes, as it happens. But very interesting. You picked out Adam Mahiev there because he's another one who's made a move. He's in Germany as well now, signed on deadline day for FC Nuremberg, was it? Yeah, FC Nuremberg, I believe. Let me just check that. I want to give you.
You're very good with these following where these players are going.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see Finnish players making their mark overseas and signing for some of these massive clubs. Do you know what I mean? So it's it's a pleasure to keep an eye on them. But there's a lot of expectation for Adam Mahiev, and the move to Germany will only see him develop even further, I believe.
Yeah, what was interesting for me during those Euros was I was sitting there thinking, well, I know some of these names, but I don't really know these players. And then I started looking at in their career, like Mahiev as an example, and you look at their careers, and these are players who've left Finland at like 17, 18 years old before they've even really played in the Veikkausliiga. And then they're making a career for themselves. And it's something we talked about over all those years. Should they stay and play men's football, or should they go? Yeah. And I don't know. They've chosen that post. I've spoken in the past with Kasper Bannanen in Ashiko, and I said to him, like, how was it going to Bologna when you're 16, and then coming back when you're 19? And he basically said to me, I went there as a boy and I came back as a man. I learned how to look after myself. I grew up, basically, and then came back, and at age 19. Coming back at 19, it's mad. There's players breaking through into the team after that age, but coming back, going into the academy side for a year, now 2 years in the first team, and I'm really sad to say this, but I think we'll lose him at the end of this season. But I'm also proud because we've got to know each other a bit, and you want your friends to kind of go on and do the best for themselves. So he would go with the blessing of all the Ashiko fans to, you know, maybe join one of these Huuhkajat over there. And you know what'll happen? As soon as he leaves Ashiko, he'll get in the Finland squad, just like Villa.
That's it. That's how it works.
All right, let's have a look, Keke, at our upcoming opponents a little bit. Norway first in the friendly, but looking at their results this year is anything but friendly. They're 4 World Cup qualifiers so far. They beat Moldova away 5-0. They beat Israel away 4-2. They beat Italy at home 3-0. That's a big. I mean, I know Italy are a bit of a shambles at qualifying for competitions, but did win the Euros. They won the Euros and then or didn't qualify for the World Cup. Madness. And then,
I mean, they wear Italy wear royal blue, the same as Rangers. So maybe it's something about
maybe it is, and so the Huuhkajat, who are also a bit of a mess as well at the moment. Their final recent victory was a 1-0 win away to Estonia. That's a bit of a sort of unusual result.
We're cling on to that.
Yes, I mean? we're a bit better than Estonia, so maybe we could do a bit better against. Yeah. Obviously, they've got some very well-known players, Norway. I
mean, the squad, mate, is absolutely littered with players at all sorts of clubs that you recognise and know. I mean, from the keepers, Ørjan Nyland is at Sevilla, Egil Selvik is at Watford in England. People will be familiar with Christopher Ayo's at Brentford in the Premier League after years at Celtic. Brayerson at Borussia Dortmund. I mean, Ostigard at Genoa, that Pedersen at Torino. I mean, you know, that's before you've even got to the forward players of Martin Odegaard at Arsenal. Sander Berg at Fulham, Nusa at Leipzig. You've got, who else have we got here? Erling Haaland. Do you know what I mean? It's Strand Larsen, who I think is.
Yeah, exactly. The forward line of Sørloth, Haaland, Strand Larsen, Oscar Bob. You know, and then another younger player, Schelderup from Benfica. But those first 4 are, you know, okay. Some of them are household names, and some of them, if you know football, you know who those players are. Like that's a hell of a forward line.
It is. I mean, it remains to be seen. You know, this is a friendly. It remains to be seen who starts the game and how these players rotate through the 90 or so minutes of that friendly. But make no mistake, they will want to win in Oslo in front of what I expect to be a full house of young screaming fans. Do you know what I mean? So these players, I mean, guys like Erling Haaland and players like that are absolute superstars in their homeland, unmistakably. So yeah, they will want to turn us over, and it's down to us to sort of counter that.
There's also a couple of players in their squad from Bordeaux Glimt as well, who had that incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, they are an incredible small club, but just incredible performers, and they've just qualified for the Champions League as well. So I wonder if you might see some of those players in the friendly against Finland. They could do us a little favour and leave one or two of those Man City players on the bench.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be easy. I think I wouldn't want to pin my hat on the result. I think really, as long as we don't get an absolute doing of like 4 or 5-0, I think the result is pretty much irrelevant. It's just how we can hold our own against. I don't think losing to Norway and Oslo in a friendly match is a disaster. Is what I'm trying to say. I just I don't want us to come away from there on the back end of an absolute doing, and I just want us to try and hold our own. Do you know what I mean? Like, it would be nice to make sure that the game's competitive and that everybody comes through it unscathed for the actual important game, as it were.
Yeah, absolutely. They're ranked 33 in the world, Norway. We are currently ranked 69 in the world. And then we go into the game on Sunday against Poland, who are, I'm getting there, 37th in the world. So Poland and Norway are fairly similar ranking. We've beaten Poland recently. There's no reason why we can't be competitive against Norway. And they've had a tough 15, 20 years really. But that there's players coming through there that you think actually can do a bit of damage. I wonder if they're strong enough at the back and if that gives us opportunities. But I wonder what we'll do with our team selection. Is it going to be experimental, or is it going to be actually Friis is going to continue to use it to develop his own team?
Yes, that is up for all sort of speculation. But just on Poland, you're right. They have not had the best run of it recently. I mean, you look at their results through 2024. I mean, they kicked off with a 3-2 win away to Scotland in Glasgow, and then they didn't win another game in that Nations League campaign. Scotland even turned them over at home 2-1, so got their revenge on there. I mean, they got smashed by Portugal. What was it, 8-2 over the 2 games, I think. And it's Poland have got a little bit of a similarity to Finland, whereas they've had such a strong national. Well, they did have such a strong national team and a tight knit group for quite a while, and they've been in a transition. They've been in their own transition, similar to us. So it's they've had their own troubles. I mean, I can't profess to be all over the latest in Polish football, but I do remember we spoke previously about Robert Lewandowski falling out with the management regime and saying he wouldn't play for Poland while that management regime was in place. I don't know if that's changed or if he's changed his mind or what, but yeah,
the manager changed and Lewandowski's back in the squad. So
there we go.
Yeah.
So I didn't know. You do know.
Well, I can't say I know, but I'm good at reading while you're talking. I was going to say their games this year. They beat Poland. They beat Lithuania at home 1-0. They beat Malta at home 2-0. They beat Moldova at home 2-0. And then they lost to Finland away 2-1. That's not convincing, is it, against those teams?
No. And I mean, I think if I remember that Poland Lithuania game, they scored right at the death. If I remember, and it's sort of
quite late.
I can't remember. Yeah, so that was a tricky one for them as well. But they've got some superstars of their own. I mean, I'll just have a quick run through their squad. I mean,
Oh, God, now that's brave. That's brave, because once you get past Lewandowski, there's a lot of long Polish names. I hope we don't have the Polish football show checking out your pronunciation.
Well, I sincerely hope not. I mean, they've had so many great goalkeepers over the years. You know, like it's astonishing how many good goalkeepers they've produced. But yeah, they've got Lukasz Skoporski of Bologna, he's quite old now at 34, but he's had 17 caps for Poland. So, you know, whether they go with him on one of the younger options, who knows? We've got Jan Bednarek, who people will be familiar with, who's at FC Porto. Jakub Kiwior's at Arsenal. Matty Cash, who everyone...
Actually, Kiwior's just left and gone to Porto as well.
There we are, in the transfer window. Matty Cash of Villa, who people will be familiar with. You've got, crikey.
In the midfield, you've got Piotr Zielinski from Inter.
Zielinski, thank you.
Yeah.
Zielinski from Inter in Italy. Frankowski at Stade Rennes, who'll be familiar with our mate Glenn Kamara. Zalewski of Atalanta, who are a great side in Italy. There's some really, really decent players, up
front with Lewandowski's is Krzysztof Piątek as well. They are still the team is still sort of riddled with these kind of top names that you recognise, but they've got a new manager now. Is that going to bring them together, or is that going to mean that they need time to come together? They're also playing a competitive game against the Netherlands on Thursday when we had the friendly game. So that will be interesting to see if Netherlands can give them a bit of a hiding. That might just open them up a little bit for us, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, we exactly that, mate. I think we would be looking for a Netherlands win there. You know, I mean, Poland are absolutely desperate for the points. They're gonna go. They've got no choice but to go all guns blazing against Holland, I believe. And you know, we live in the hope that that's going to tire them out, where we will be taking it easy at our friendly in Oslo. But yeah, I think, you know, we can take heart from the victory in Helsinki. Do you know what I mean? Like this, obviously, Lewandowski. Do you know what I mean? He can produce a bit of magic out of nowhere. But you know, we just got to be on our game for 90 minutes and try and keep him quiet. Who knows if he's going to play the whole match or what? But yeah, obviously 0-0 at the start, mate. I'll have a few Polish beers inside me. I'll be singing as loud as I can, and yeah, it's I'll be gunning for the win, mate.
All right. So we don't know from this big squad of Huuhkajat players who will be playing. We've said everyone's name. They're all there. And actually, when I first saw the Norway game as a friendly, I wasn't so excited about it. But the more I think about it, and the way we've just talked about who we're playing against, and looking at the squad, at some of the players who have come in, it will actually be really interesting to see who starts and how that game goes before we have the competitive game on Sunday.
I think you're right, mate. I think you're right what you said. I think the Norway game will see a slightly more experimental side, and then whether Jakob Friis has something in his mind for Poland already, and then some standout performers against Norway change that. Who knows? He's still quite early into his tenure of the Huuhkajat. It's tricky to predict a starting 11 from Jakob Friis, you know, at the moment, especially with some of these young guys coming in. So it remains to be seen.
Yeah. What doesn't remain to be seen is how much you're going to enjoy yourself going to Poland. Tell us about your upcoming trip. What's the plan?
I absolutely cannot wait, mate. It's as I said, like I've never been to Poland before, so another stamp in the passport. And yes, I do actually get a stamp in my passport because I've got a British one. So
you need a stamp nowadays.
Yeah, they stamp it. Yeah, you got to get the old stamp. So So yes, I'll get another stamp in the passport.
And you got to get your European travel. What's it nowadays as well, don't you? I suppose you got that already because you went to Finland.
The insurance and my HIT card and all that. Yeah.
No, but isn't there some sort of like travel permit thing now for traveling to Europe? Yeah.
I've checked Poland, and you don't need one at the moment.
Okay.
And unless I've checked the wrong web page, we'll find out when I get there. But I'm hoping they'll let me in. But no, listen, I'm flying into Wrocław, meeting my mate Ville there, and then we'll have a night in Wrocław at the town. The next day we take the train down to Warsaw, which is where the match is. So we'll soak up a bit of atmosphere there, watch the game, stay there on after the game on the match night, and then the following day we head down to Krakow for a couple of days in Krakow.
Okay,
so,
nice.
And I'll fly home from Krakow. So, looking forward to it, mate.
Very, very nice, and be sure to post some pictures on your travels. Do you normally do it on the? Do you put it on the Finnish Football Show Instagram, or do you just put it on your own?
Well, it depends how sloshed I get. If you know what I mean. Listen, we've sampled some really, really tasty beers in all the different places we've been away games, but Ville he also likes to sample the local liquor as well, and he's adamant that he's going to be on the old bison grass vodka this time. So
Good luck, mate.
Who knows? We'll see.
But listener, if you want to try and see what Keke is up to over there, then find the Finnish Football Show Instagram page, and that's where he's also constantly sharing news and updates and things from Finnish players performing overseas or transferring overseas. It's where I keep track. I mean, I can't keep up with it if I'm completely honest, but when I do see stuff there, and it does keep me informed what's going on. So you're doing good stuff. I've always said it.
Thank you.
Shall we just take a quick mention of the under-21s, because the Finland under-21s have got a couple of games coming up as well, and
this week as well.
If I can get my fingers moving quickly enough, there we go. So they've got European Euro qualifications for the under-21s on also Thursday in Turku, Finland versus San Marino, and the following Tuesday away to Cyprus.
Yeah.
There was a squad list somewhere, which I've managed to lose.
I mean, you've got to look at those and say they're winnable games, haven't you?
Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you? At whatever level. Again, I can't go in too much detail about the squad, because I don't follow the under-21 squad closely enough to see who's in and who's out. But what I would just give a little shout out to Oskari Väistö from Asiko, who's had his first call up to the under-21s. He's been probably used more this year than perhaps we expected he would, because of injuries to other players, and he's very solid. He's built a bit like Ville Tikkanen, similar kind of stature, and has sort of come into the squad, played a bit at the end of last season, but really grown into that role this year, and looks very good. So well deserved.
Sorry, Mark. I mean, obviously, with all these younger guys going up to the Huuhkajat squad, the under-21 squad has gone through a bit of a change as well. But can you see Nathan Scooter in there at all?
No, I can't actually.
No. I just wanted to mention him because he's joined FC Kaiserslautern and scored at the weekend. So another one pulling up trees in Germany.
Yeah, there was. Well, I think we've kind of we've blown away the Finns overseas bit with all the stuff we talked about. So while we're here, Dario Namo is in the under-21 squad, who was playing for Asiko last season. He moved to St. Pölten in Austria and has just joined the Finns in Scotland WhatsApp group by joining Dundee United. So there's quite a group forming up there now with Topi Keskinen as well at Aberdeen. So it's almost one at each club. So yeah, let's keep a bit of an eye on what the under-21s are doing, and
there's yet more football.
There is yet more football. With the Helmarit have got some games coming up, not quite so soon, so we don't have to worry too much about that just yet. But let's tell people what's going on. In October, the Helmarit have their last 2 World Cup qualifiers or Euros.
Nations League.
They're nation. See, it's complicated when you don't have the right page open in front of you. But also, I think they've been playing in a couple of different competitions this year, haven't they? They were playing Nations League and then into the Women's Euros and now back to the Nations League. So they've essentially got a double header against Denmark later in October, and we'll come back to that a bit closer to the time.
Yeah, I mean, the Helmarit, what they played so well across that Women's Euro, and came away with 1 win from the 3 games and ended up going home. But yeah, I honestly thought they gave a quite a good account of themselves. Do you know what I mean? It was exciting to watch the 3 games, and yeah, it was a shame they couldn't progress. But yeah, I mean, double header against Denmark, Nations League, back on track. See how we get on.
Yeah, very good. I think we might have just got to the end of our list of things to talk about, Keke. Anything else from you? Anything off the top of your head?
No, I don't think so, mate. Okay. I don't think so. I'll just, but I will as soon as I finish here. I'm going to go and recheck my visa requirements for the European Union.
You got time. If there is this, if you do need this electronic travel thing, then it's literally do it online, and it's very, very quick. So you'll be good. You'll be good. Yeah, good old Brexit. Still feeling the benefits. This is one of the benefits, Keke. You get to a bit more admin before you travel overseas. But it's been great. It's been great catching up with you again, mate. And
likewise.
I think we'll get together after these games and have a little look back and see if we can drag Mark Hayton back in as well.
Yeah, mate. And once the hangover is gone and the head's cleared, I shall be back with you, telling you how I got on.
So are you getting back on like Wednesday or something like that?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll let you land and then let you negotiate an hour away from your family life when you get back, and then we'll come and talk to the ladies and gentlemen about what you experienced and what you can remember of the game. Do you know, is Seppo travelling with you next week?
I actually saw him when I was in Helsinki, but I imagine he'll be there.
Well, if Mark Hayton's not available, then maybe Seppo would like to come and talk to us about the 2 games as well. He talks a good game.
Cool. He does, yeah.
All right, listener, thanks for listening through our production planning meeting at the end of the pod there. And if you're still listening, that is. Thanks for listening, and Keke again, thanks for being there. Until next episode of the Finnish Football Show. Goodbye.
Kiitos, näkemiin.
You've been listening to the Finnish Football Show. You can find us online at finishfootballshow.com. Remember to subscribe to the show wherever you're listening or watching. You can follow the Finnish Football Show page and group on Facebook and also on Instagram. Escape to Suomi on Twitter is now Finnish Football Show on X. And you will find us on Blue Sky at Finnish Football Pod. See the links in the episode description, along with the links to the Finnish Football Show merch.